with Merc and Chance earlier, I almost feel like that kind of goes out the window. You know, if you're able to just get to a hill and lock it down, the spawns in Infinite Warfare that you can spawn people out so effectively that you can just take any amount of time on any of these hills. You can take a full 60 on just about anyone.
Well, here we go, buddy. Make some noise. Game 1 of the CWL Atlanta Open is off and on the way. Enigma 6 going up against FaZe Clan. We'll have eyes on with Zuma here at top window as he's trying to defend the central hard point. What do you love about Zuma, man? It seems like he sort of, I don't know, resurged a little bit here with this title?
I always feel like he's been very strong. I feel like, you know, the faster paced games definitely suit his playstyle more than others. And I think you expect a big year out of Zuma. And you see he's just going to be looking over his players as they're inside the hill, and FaZe is racking up some points here early.
Just doing his best to hold them at bay, make sure they can't get pressure. And it's this gunfight one-on-one across the top window, right? If he can take him out, it allows his players to kind of push from tracks, get set up. But so far, I mean, any time we've seen he's been going towards FaZe here is they've got an early 13-0 advantage.
Yeah, and it's not even really winning that gunfight, it's just putting the fire so the player can't come out and challenge the player inside of the hill. So as long as he's putting down consistent fire at that top window, it's going to be a win for his team. And it's going to be FaZe taking 25 seconds and counting here at the beginning of this game. E6 not on the board. They're going to rotate here early. They need to lock this one down.
And he's getting a little bit low on ammo. There was one behind. We saw Proto go vertical there in the corner, coming out the backside of Granny's. But finally, E6 going to be able to get on the board. And they're trying to lock down Barn. Hiding behind line here is going to be Proto. What do you like about this particular hard point? You're talking about Barn. Lots of entrances, right?
Yeah, well, Barn, I mean, you can get all the way into the back. You can lock down that lime area and really secure the spawns for your team. But it's quickly broken there by FaZe. You see where E6 is spawning out all the way at the top of your mini-map. A quick break from FaZe, and that's a good sign if you're a FaZe team. You know, I went back and I watched some of the videos of the 2K, and I remember the game where they had 249, they lose it to Optic Gaming. And what you saw from FaZe in that matchup, and you see from them sometimes, is when the score gets close in hardpoint, they just start to flood from one angle. They don't pinch, they don't try and spawn teams out. You see a little bit of panic, so you don't see that there. But Enigma 6 able to break, take the rest of this time on Barn. They're going to go in with the lead to this next hill.
Well, let's talk a little bit then. Yeah, let's focus on E6 for a bit. You got Proto, he's 7-3, he's on a 2-streak, playing sneaky in the corner, but that's going to be Zuma just snapping on him with the K-bar as he hits the edge. One team kill does come in for attach as he picks up one member of his side, but we're going to move it down to under bridge here. See what Ruiz is able to do as he's trying to find shot stop. Middle does find one above, but his teammate's able to clean that one up. And just like that, you see Enigma 6 going to be getting the lead change. They're going to be able to take a bit of control here, but FaZe right back in front.
And this, I feel like, is one of the harder hills to hold down. You're going to have to get control of it and push all the way through to the opposite side of the bike path, because there's not really a lot of places for the player to hide inside of the hard point. You pretty much just have those two corners on the opposite side of the bridge, so it's really easy to break. You see Proto here picking up 2 big kills as E6 gets control of the hill, take the lead right back.
It reminds you a little bit maybe of tracks on Fringe in a way, right? Just kind of that long tunnel. It reminds you of it a bit. You have to push out both sides, try to keep them spawning out. For those of you familiar with Black Ops 3 Hardpoint, we've got just under 10 seconds left before we rotate to what many consider to be your money hill. We're going to baseball field. Back statue here in general, after picking up 2, is going to be looking for some key kills here as he's going to set up.
I know we did a lot of talk before this event, you know, who may be the key player in this group. The guy who I thought would be is General. I think he's probably the standout player on this team. You look just from a mechanics and skill perspective, I think he is the most naturally talented out of the E6 group. I think if he can really get going, could spell a disaster for FaZe.
Well, he's 9-8 right now, but now we're going to focus on the FaZe attempt to hold. Inside the top blue is Enable. He's watching and he kind of pushed through courtyard. He gets the call. He needs to wrap back and help as attached drops. Trying to find him in the back. Teammate there to clean it up, but he will find one. That's going to be him taking out General, who we were just highlighting. And if FaZe can lock this down, they've got 20 or so seconds left. They'll be able to retake the lead and should be able to get the remainder of this time, as you've only got another, I was going to say, one more hit from E6, but they might get the break.
And with the way these hills have gone so far in this game, it's been so 50-50. You see how close the score is. I think the second rotation of hills, it's going to come down to somebody locking down Barn or this back baseball, which may decide the game.
Well, now we're going to try and get back towards mid-map as we're going to enter the second side of our formations. And you see a bit of a split spawn kind of coming in here as number 6 on the mini-map was a Clayster. And speaking of Clayster, you know, usually we highlight him a ton, but as you can see right now, a very, very slow start for him. He's actually 5-12 currently. What do you think's going wrong for him? Maybe just first event nerves? I'm sorry, first match nerves?
I mean, it's definitely not his first event. They're definitely not first event nerves for Clayster. He's been a player who's been around forever.
For a decade.
And I mean, look, I feel like sometimes Clay on this team feels like he needs to lead and tell everybody else where they need to go. And it's so hard to be an in-game leader and try and, you know, move everybody around different places, keep track of the clock. where you kind of let your own kind of game go away.
Yeah.
So I feel like right now Clay needs to just focus on picking up these kills, focus on the positions that he needs to lock down. I feel like his teammates are at a point where they're experienced enough in this type of hardpoint style where they know where they need to go. I feel like Clay needs to like let some of that in-game leadership go away.
Well, you can tell, I was going to say the scrap time may go to FaZe, but I believe it was a kill from Ruiz onto Clayster, allows them to pick up a couple seconds there in scrap time. But they rotated early to try and lock down Barn, but some key engagements there for FaZe allow them to get it. A big part of that is Attach, the monster. He's got his Scarab. He's currently on a 4 streak. He's looking out the backside. He should have an engagement here momentarily. We'll be able to pick up the kill. Streak now up to 5, leading all Slayers outside of really Zuma, who's having a beast game. So they're 2 fast-paced players doing a lot for them currently on this hard point.
Yeah, but they have nobody watching the top side of the minimap. It's going to be Proto and K that just get inside of the hard point. They were able to break this for Enigma 6, so where it looked like FaZe has control of this back area. Enigma 6 with a very good flood through the top side of your minimap. They break it.
And you'll see there's like 6 players bunched up within this tiny barn because there's like 4 different places you're able to hit and fly in. But FaZe looking to pick up the final seconds here. 15 or so on the clock. That'll push them out to just under a 40-point advantage. This is kind of how the game started, right? FaZe got that early lead. Enigma 6, though, tries to fight back. We're going to be heading over to Bike Path now. We're going to go on with Proto. We're going to see what he can do from Enigma 6 as he's trying to set up. And he's going to be the one picking up the time in the hard point here, Matt.
So I think if you're Enigma 6, you can't get caught up in taking a ton of time here on Bike Path. You need to make sure you secure those spawns for that next baseball field in the back. Because if you try and take a lot of time here, it doesn't matter if you give up those spawns to FaZe, because they're going to jump right back into lead. So if you're Enigma 6, I almost don't even look at the scoreboard here. I play for those positions for the next hard point.
You got to feel pretty good if you're FaZe right now. I mean, you're obviously getting a lackluster slaying performance from Clayster in this one. And you're still, you got a pretty comfortable lead right now, right? Everybody else is getting it done when it comes to slaying.
Well, look, I mean, if you can't take advantage of Clayster having an off game here, it's going to be bad in this series for Enigma 6. He goes on a little bit of a streak there, putting together 5 straight kills, starting to get going with the assault rifle in his hands, and you do see FaZe pulling a little bit further away from Enigma 6 here, but that next hill I was talking about, it's going to be Enigma 6 set up in the back. This is where they can come back and take the lead.
And I think that stretch there, Matt, for Clayster is going to help maybe his confidence a little bit. Started slow, picks up 5 in a row. We'll see if that benefits him, but still, 50-point advantage for FaZe, but look at E6's setup on the minimap. They've got Statue locked down. It's going to be Zuma trying to break in, able to find one in the back. The reactive armor coming in huge, and now comes the swarm. FaZe breaking through. 1 from behind, able to get in top blue. 1 player remaining, but there's only 1 left. Cade goes clutch. Cade finds the final 2, and it's still E6 picking up the points.
Yeah, Cade with 3 big kills there. Currently on a 4 streak, locking this down for Enigma 6. And let's see how FaZe plays this. I was talking about the panic that I saw in the 2K against Optic Gaming. Let's see if that comes back. They need to just pinch on this hill. They need to come from both angles. So you do see Clayster trying to work through bowling, has teammates coming from the opposite direction. This is the right play here from FaZe.
Well, it's still General, last man standing. Their 50-point advantage slipping away. It's now a 20-point game. 10 seconds left, and it's General and crew trying to pick this up. But 2 players pushing in for FaZe. General doesn't care, able to chop down 1. 1 more player inside. Shot just a bit off as Zuma will take, what, the final 3 seconds. So not that the kill is going to be that crucial, but now it's the flood back to mid-map. Enigma 6 still nipping on the heels of FaZe.
And I mean, the really only difference in the second rotation of hills is that barn hardpoint. That's where you saw FaZe pick up a considerable amount of time. Enigma 6 got 1 break. FaZe just swarmed right in, was able to break it right back. So we'll see how Enigma 6 plays this 3rd rotation. You do have Ruiz and Proto with their abilities up ready to use. So you may save those for barn in case you don't get those spawns right away.
Well, Clayster spawns out at Statue and rotates back in, trying to get eyes on, but that's going to be Cade up top. Cade with what seems like so many crucial kills down the stretch, despite the fact he's -4. He's on a 3 streak now. He had some big kills there at Statue, and he's coming up clutch when it matters. But that's going to be Clayster off spawn, kind of go right back, knows where that position was, able to find him.
Yeah, but you have to keep attention to your mini-map. You see where Enigma 6 is spawning. They do a very good job not giving up a ton of time here to FaZe on this center hill. Now it's going to be all pressure on FaZe here trying to break into barn.
Remember what happened last time, though? E6 rotated early. FaZe broke in behind, I believe, 2 big kills from Attach, and now it's going to be Zuma opening things up. Proto has to rotate back in, and he gets gone. Zuma finds 2. FaZe may have the break they need to cement this one inside a barn. Is Attached. There it is. Zuma 2. Attached 2. They come flying, and E6 cannot hold on, and just like that, your early rotation for E6 means nothing.
It's just something you just can't let happen. If you're going to bank on going to a hill early, rotating, you need to pick up that initial wave of kills, because that's how you see these hardpoint games get out of control score-wise. When a team is forced to rotate early, they don't pick up the kills. But you do see Enigma 6 working through the front side of the bar at hardpoint. General gets one, Cade with another, and they're able to get control.
Back and forth has been the story of this game. 20 points left here on Barn, and those 20 points would make it all but a tie game, but Attach trying to do dirty things inside, but catches the furious fist there of Ruiz. And now the rotation's coming up. Matt, tell me what's going down.
Yeah, and you do have FaZe setting up for bike path. They're going to rotate all 4 members over towards that hard point. You have 1 member for Enigma 6, just trying to lock this down, contested at the beginning, so you do not let FaZe push all the way through, control this area of the map.
Well, they've gotten pushed through and set up for now. You see the number 5 up top, I believe, is Enable trying to find some kills. He eventually does get dropped. Now look, you have both teams just going to hit from either side here. It's going to be Mayhem at bike path. That was General, I believe, that had called in the Scarab, trying to disrupt, but this is so close to just being tied up yet again. We may have a lead change. There's only 80 seconds really left on the clock.
And you do see number 3 on the minimap. General and the rest of Enigma 6, they spawn on that top side, and Clayster knows it's coming in. He knows the flank is coming. He needs to pick up these kills, because if he can spawn out Enigma 6 on the opposite side of the map, FaZe in a great spot to close this game out soon.
Beautiful job there, backing him down with the shots, backing him down with the grenade, and now, can they get the final break they need as we move to Statue? This is your money hill, and this is what it's all going to come down to. 10 seconds left. That's going to put them at, what, 240, basically 10 points away. E6 has to be perfect, Matt.
With a fantastic hold, though, you could have E6 actually come back and win it here on this baseball field hardpoint. So you do see they're set up all the way in the back. Big kill here from Clayster on General. He's able to get one. Does have camo. Going to get inside of the hard point as one more player to his right. He's going to be able to pick it up. So FaZe comes through with a big break there, Maeve.
And that should be it. Clayster should be able to close it down. Look how big he's come back. He was so negative to start off the game. He was close to getting a bombardment there. You're 2 points away. FaZe just looking to cement the victory here. There you go. FaZe Clan taking game 1.
And Clay absolutely goes ham there in the second half of that game. You know, we highlighted his bad start. He had like 5 kills through the first rotation. Not a very good start for Clayster. Lee finishes with 22 in that game, so makes a really big comeback.
Yeah, and when you talk about it, like I said, where I think he started to come alive, you need a confidence booster sometimes. If you're like an energy guy, an emotional guy like Clay, that 5 streak he got, after that, he sort of rebounded, right? He got right back in the game, and he goes huge down the clutch. The plays he was making by bus there, kind of outside bowling, and then the rotation at the end in the baseball field, he was perfect, man. That was flawless.
Yeah, you never call Clayster like a streaky player, but definitely you see, even in real sports, those emotional players. Yeah. It's like they get off to a great start, it just keeps kind of mounding up, and they get even better. And you know, when he gets off to a rough start there, you can kind of see he puts a little bit too much pressure on himself. Once he starts to get going, though, he does not stop.
Well, hardpoint will be in the books. You see kind of the defeated look from E6. They had an opportunity there. They had many, right? They always kept it close. They didn't let, I think, FaZe get out more than like a 40-point lead. They all kept it kind of within that. Just couldn't get it done at the end.
Yeah, it was nothing that E6 did, you know, strategy-wise that kind of put them out of the game. It's just a few gunfights didn't go their way. I mean, they haul down Barn when they rotate early. Completely different game. And I think they make the right play towards the end of the game. They're rotating out of bike path to baseball, putting the entire game on that hard point. They really had no option at that point but to do that.
The reason I think it has to be a little bit frustrating is if you look at some of the key rotations, specifically, let's just talk, we highlighted Barn quite a bit, and we highlighted Statue, our baseball field. They rotated early. At least the last
they're in position.
3 rotations, they were the ones set up. They just couldn't hold it. So that's got to be kind of frustrating when you play, you know, quote unquote smart. You get there earlier, but FaZe just flies in. It was Zuma and Attached that were kind of, I think, the scary part of that, man. They were a wrecking ball just rolling into those hills.
Yeah, I mean, a 40-point game. I mean, that is a very close hard-point game to kick things off in this series. And I think if you're FaZe, you have to be kind of nervous going into potentially a second hard point later in the series, because you have to realize you have to rotate a little bit earlier. Enigma 6 got to the spots. FaZe just overpowered them with gun skill. They're not able to do that in another hard point. They may end up losing it.
There's Attach. He had a nice game there. You saw just a flurry of 2 pieces. He was able to get, specifically on the breaks, when they were the team rotating late, the team getting the scrap time, that ended up being huge and a big part of why they were able to cement it. But while we've got a little bit of time here before they get loaded up into the search and destroy, let's talk a bit about FaZe. I mean, is this maybe the best position they've been in, the best they are mentally since Advanced Warfare?
Yes, without a doubt. They did not have a very good year last year, not up to their standards at times. They were great in one game mode, and then they were awful in another. They'd fixed the bad game mode, then they went back and they were not good in the other ones. It was just a really up and down year for them. And I think you saw Zuma and some of the guys tweet about it. they felt they just not put the time in last year. And I think they have definitely changed that this year. They put in a ton of time to this game, and they expect to get the results.
Well, we're going to be going to Scorch S&D next, Matt. We'll talk about that a bit shortly, but I want to touch on kind of what you said a moment ago. Maybe not putting the time in. I had a very similar conversation with Crimsix and Clayster. You know, I talked to Krim after, you know, the disappointing 7th place finish at Champs, and he said, I needed to be the general. I need to get the guys grinding. I need to be on them more. That's sort of what the same conversation I had with Clay. Clay was like, I needed to be the leader. I need to take over more. I needed to push them to do stuff. Because I think I know how Enable is. I've known Enable for a long time. He sometimes takes over the leader role. Sometimes in game, I know he kind of charged it around. I think Clay realized, like, I have to just be the guy now. And if that's the mentality he has all year, they're going to be scary.
Well, sometimes, you know, when you're having so much success and you're the leader of a team, you kind of take off your foot off the gas a little bit. You're like, well, I can't be that hard on the guys. You know, we're doing so well, whatnot. Yeah. And then, like, you start not playing well, and it's hard to go back to that enforcer type of role. So I think, you know, getting a new game, obviously, you know, every year definitely helps that, because you get a little bit of a reset button. You can go back to being that general that they were talking about.
Well, speaking of general,
yeah,
there you have him, and we'll see if he's able to be the literal general, yeah, and lead his team back here. Now, going into Scorch Search and Destroy, we know this is a site that we've seen the bomb kind of move around a bit on B. It's been very B heavy. It's changed quite a bit. With recent changes, does it change your opinion, I guess, of this matchup? Is there someone here that you think has the edge big time in Search and Destroy?
Not really. I mean, FaZe, you look at them, they've been a good Search and Destroy team in the past with Attach and Zuma, 2 very talented S&D players. But, you know, Enigma 6, I mean, back in Advanced Warfare, we saw it at Vegas, a very good Search and Destroy team in their own right. And I feel like if you're coming in a team where you're kind of overmatched in gun skill, this is a game mode where you can make up for that.
And this is a game. It's fast-paced. You can do quite a bit of flanking in Search, in Respawn, whatever you're able to do. My eye's always going to be on Zuma when it comes to Search and Destroy, specifically because I swear, man, it seems like I'm making up stats, but 80% of rounds, he's first blood or he gets the first blood. You know what I mean? Like so consistently, we see him either
80% of rounds he's getting first blood.
That's my Maven stat.
All right, well that's pretty high.
He's getting it or getting first blood.
Oh, okay.
Like, it's one or the other, dude. He plays so fast. He's either being taken out or he's finding the kill. That'll be what I'm keeping my eye on through this Search and Destroy. Yeah,
I mean, look, he's going to be a very aggressive player. We've seen it hurt FaZe at times. We've seen it pay off in big ways. But I think it's not a real great consistent play style, to be quite honest with you. I mean, when you have a guy just taking those 50-50 gunfights all the time, it's either going to put your team at an advantage, which is great, but I mean, you can't bank on him winning those gunfights all the time.
I remember when we were kind of breaking down Stage 1 versus Stage 2 last year for Black Ops 3. And we were trying to figure out what was the key difference between kind of FaZe falling off in Search and Destroy. They picked it up big time in Hardpoint, fell off in Search. And when you looked at the stats of it, like their team's first blood percentage dropped dramatically, and it was like all behind Zuma. Zuma went from getting that first kill constantly to dying first. And that's a big part of it. I mean, having that 4-3 edge early is, God, that's probably the biggest part of Search.
Yeah, but it's just not one way you're going to win consistently. I mean, like kind of like we saw in the Hardpoint. If they don't rotate earlier, I mean, they're not going to win all those gunfights every time.
Not against better teams, too.
No.
Yeah.
No.
If this is maybe Envy or Optic Gaming, not to talk down E6 at all, but there are teams that have more talent from a gun skill perspective. Yeah, that's not going to work every time, right?
No, I mean, E6, they win a few more gunfights in that first game. They can definitely, win that one. But it was FaZe taking game number 1 here in our best of 5 against E6. Going into game 2, it'll be FaZe on the defensive end first.
All right, so they will be kicking it off on defense. We are starting off with Zuma because we talked about how frequently he is the one getting into these. What do you know? He is either first kill or first dead. It just always happens, Matt.
Right, but now it's going to force the rest of his teammates to actually back out of the bomb site. They're going to give this up to E6, and I love the strategy for E6. They flood the unfavorable bomb site first. They get an easy plant. A lot of the times, the players on the defensive end just go check that run right back to B. They take advantage of Zuma out of position there.
Well, now it's going to be on Enable, Clay, and Attach to try and work this 3v4 retake. You got eyes on one at Skybridge. It's Clayster engaging with the ERAD. I'm liking that we've been seeing the ERAD a little bit more. You saw it a lot in London, right?
Yeah, and that's Clayster with it, which is odd. Clayster, obviously, an AR player for his entire career, and you see why. Yeah, General takes him out there as he tries to run in to that warehouse, and it's going to be Attached. The last one alive here, 1v3. He's going to jump off the side, not going to give the other team the points. It's going to be Enigma 6 taking round number 1.
Cannot be comfortable to fall into lava, as he will end up taking a dip. But keep an eye on them, man. I'm telling you, Zuma, he is hit first, or kind of take it first guy in these Search and Destroy rounds. But we'll get into round 2. You see him there. see if he's able to bounce back. And you think that was him being out of position a little bit? I mean, he easily could have won that gunfight.
He easily could have, and not a lot of players actually go over towards the A site. I think that's what really kind of caught him off guard. Usually we see everybody push over towards B. I think he went to go check it, saw a guy there, knew there were players coming towards the sky bridge. He wasn't going to be able to get out, so he may as well have challenged that fight.
All right, well, he just saw a nade come out, so he knows there's at least one here. He's going to push forward, and what I tell you? I'm a statistical maven.
Right now, you're at 100% of the time.
All right,
better
that's
than
true.
the stats
That's
you
true.
gave us before.
That's true.
You see Enable just going to jump up, put in some shots there. But now, I mean, just look at where FaZe is playing in position-wise. All Enigma 6 has to do is just group up, flood through this bomb site. They're going to win this round.
All right, well, Enable maybe push from his right side. He did get eyes on, able to win one. I think there was a second pushing from his left. He will drop. It's now going to be all on General in a 1 versus 2. Makes it a 1v1. Sees the player. Ooh! Thought he got him. You see it all and attach his face there.
That was a dangerous gunfight, but it was actually the big play by Attach and Clay. They came on a flank. Enable stayed alive just long enough so those guys could get in position. They take out 2 players behind the enemy lines for Enigma 6. Enable actually picks up a big gun battle at the beginning. General almost clutches up there, but FaZe actually wins a huge round, one that they were man down at the beginning of.
It's true, but you can't count on that, being down a man every round. But now, let's take a look at the offensive side here for General and crew. We're going to kick things off with him. And he's able to get a tag there. Knows release one in the back. Oh, God, that would have been a disgusting kill if he just needed probably another shot or so in there to close one out.
And I do like the idea of going over towards B. It's obviously the safer bomb site to push on this map. A lot of angles over by A that are very dangerous for the attacker. It's going to be Zuma getting first blood in this round. It's going to change it up from getting first blood in the previous few rounds. And the bomb now in a bad spot. Where the bomb's down now, you're going to have to win one of these gunfights and push straight through to even have a chance of retaining.
So is he actually 100% right now?
Yes.
So my 80%, which you thought may be an exaggeration, he might end the game 100%, but look where bomb drops. Ends up dropping inside of Ob's deck. You saw Proto kind of push in. Do you not like that play? He didn't really have any help. You lose it in a dangerous position, but Ruiz able to get it done and find a third, but it's actually General closing it out. And now it's all on Attach. Mr. Clutch when it comes to search and destroy. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. You gotta finish the kill, Attach!
Oh, that's a tough one. It's a bad round to lose right there, your FaZe. That is one where he puts in a few shots. The back shield actually saves the player on the bomb. But you got to finish that kill off. If you get that kill, you can slide away, maybe force that player out a little bit further. Maybe you're able to clutch that, but...
My voice went to some strange realm there at the end of that, but... wow, I mean, that's a round. That's a very, very winnable round for Attach and FaZe.
I would say that is a very winnable round. If he picks up that kill, maybe he gets out of harm's way. But it's actually a big play by Enigma 6, actually push straight through, and then they'd be able to recover the bomb.
All right, well, Enable Mr. Clutch in the second round, so he was able to find a couple of kills and delay just long enough. He is going to be your bomb carrier. We'll get back to Attach and see if he can rebound from that. He's had some clutch moments and some rough ones in this match so far.
Yeah, so you do see that FaZe is going to rotate this bomb all the way to the other side of the map because you do have Glazer who's gotten into this position. He's cleared out the entire site, gives the communication to his teammates that's wide open for the taking. Now I'm interested to see how Enigma 6 play this. If they're going to let the bomb go down and then try and flood in, or if they're going to try and challenge Glazer in the back here, try and gain some more map positioning.
Well, General does find the first blood mat. Ruiz had a very big round 3. It looks like they do want to go ahead and push him, but it's only going to be 2 players left now for FaZe Clan. They'll be hunting. It's just Attach by himself. Zuma getting gunned. Attach trying to rotate back in a 1v4. Not even able to pick up the first. The slide, too much to deal with. And E6 handling them.
So in that round, I think FaZe actually just spread way too far out. So they had Clay all the way in the back by Turbine. They had 1 player on the bomb, and then 2 players fell all the way back by that warehouse. And when you have that position, there's no possibility for them to trade these kills out. Enigma 6 rolls as a pack, goes straight through the FaZe Clan team. Around that, FaZe should have won, goes E6.
Isn't that sort of been, you know, with these last 3 CODs, sort of S&D 101? Trade effectively, right? Getting too spread out, not having the opportunity to trade. Doesn't end up working that frequently. Now it's going to be a 2-hit up the middle. Ruiz and crew pushing forward, but able to cut him down with the NB4. Proto still here to back it up. They're actually all going to be stacked.
Yeah, it's a really odd call there. Try and just flood up the middle of the map. Like, I mean, you've shown a good push over towards A. You've shown that you're able to win. Now going over towards B, going up the middle of the map, the absolute riskiest spot. You're on the defensive end. You can kind of just jump over that wall, get a good line of sight on the middle of the map. So they pretty much have Ruiz die at the beginning of this round for naught. It's going to be General evening it up, though, at 3 players apiece, though. And the timing there. Cade had Clayster lined up. The Clay comes in with the ERAD, picks up a kill.
To be fair, I mean, that's why I like the ERAD in positions like that. You're never going to win that gunfight with the MV4. The only time Clayster lost is because he missed a lot of his shots. That first engagement we saw there, able to basically evaporate him. But Clayster gets the defuse. Only 1 player left up, and FaZe now 1 round away from being back in this.
Yeah, there was nothing General could do there. I mean, there's a lot of fire coming from the Sky Bridge area. He's not able to get any eyes on the bomb. Even if he goes to push out, try and get eyes on the bomb, he's going to get taken out before he can get there.
All right, let's see if General can keep the lead here for the E6 side. We'll take a look at the mini-map break, and it looks to be Zuma trying to apply some pressure. Last time we saw him push this, he lost the gunfight. Let's see if this time maybe it goes in his favor. Puts some shots across, but not able to hit the player from E6 that's sliding across. And he's going to back out of dodge, maybe try and group up with his teammates a bit here.
And I think he's actually just going to try and play a little bit more patiently towards the middle of the map. It's going to be General that's going to take out Zuma there first. So Zuma's going to fall at the beginning of this round. But Clay's going to take out Proto to even the odds here. And you do see FaZe going back to this A-bomb site yet again as Clay's able to open it up, attach with another kill. So now FaZe, with the man advantage, should be able to get bombed down in here as they've secured down the A site. But you do see a little bit of a rotation here coming in from FaZe. Very smart play. They've thrown E6 completely off guard.
Yep, it saved them, I don't know, an extra 5 seconds or so. Now they're going to have to rotate over, but Cade was able to find one, put this into a 2v2, tagging one as they get into Ob's deck. Some shots going. Did he see him cross back to the left?
I don't believe so. And I think if you're a FaZe, you don't have to challenge this. Right there, risky gunfights there. If the second player jumps out, stays for an extended period of time. And beautiful play here by Cade. Picks up 2 more. A fantastic round from Cade. Wins it for E6.
Yeah, they weren't ready from the push from that side at all. I mean, to be fair, you have 1 person on bomb. You only have 1 to cover you. Cade gets the pounce on him, able to find both kills and extend the lead out to 4-2. E6 keeping the dream alive in the series.
But when you secure A and you have the man advantage, why not just put the bomb down there? It's such a harder site to get in from the defensive standpoint.
And it gives you a little bit more time to set up and actually get angles. Yeah, I mean, especially, well, it's a different story. The fact they lost 1 player as soon as they got the bomb planted is the tough part there.
Right. You do see Enigma 6 go back over towards this B site, and it's going to be Proto with bomb in hand, getting really aggressive. Takes out Enable in the corner, but Clayster playing his corner. You know, they're setting up for that trade right there. So Enable's watching the backside, Clay watching the front. Even though Enable drops, Clayster gets a big 2-piece out of it.
Nice shots, though, from General as he's able to trade it back. Only 1 up, though, and he will fall. I was about to, kind of knock Proto a little bit until he found the kill. Remember, he lost the bomb in Ob's deck before. I thought he was going to do it again. Ultimately, he did when Clay found the 2-piece. Just seems like a risky spot to possibly lose that. You got to win that one-on-one.
I mean, Clay and Enable are just playing back-to-back, right? I mean, once Enable drops, Clay picks up an easy 2-piece, an effective trade for FaZe Clan. They take the round.
All right, let's see what FaZe can do now on the offensive side of things. You have Camo available for Clayster. He's going to be rocking this ERAD. I love seeing a bit more of the ERAD in this. And now there you go. He pops it. He's going to be able to find one. Did he see more is the question. Yeah, second across, maybe a little bit out of range there comfortably for the ERAD. Now it's going to be attached by himself and cut down. You burn Camo, and E6 takes the round. That's a painful one.
Yeah, I think Clay uses that Camo. He has 1 player go over the top of him that picks up a kill. And then once Clay comes out of that Camo after killing the first guy, it's just an easy kill to pick up because that player's already behind him. Clay does not have vision on him anymore.
Yeah, and he's in a tough spot. Like, after your teammate drops, is it maybe worth not using the Camo? Yes, but that's such a split-second thing. He already has it in his head. He's popping Camo and pushing.
You go into that round already committing Camo. Like, that's your strategy. You've already committed to it. There's no way you can change it up on the fly.
Okay, well now, to close it out, it'll be E6 looking for their 6th and final round here of Game 2. Search and destroy on Scorch. Proto wants to keep playing inside. Oh, but he's not going to be able to pop reactive.
You do see Proto now in observation deck with bomb in hand. And I do not like this position with bomb. He's brought it here numerous times. He loses it in there again. It's going to be Clay
too, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so. It's going to be Clay and Zuma picking up a kill apiece. It's going to leave General, the last one alive here, on top of bomb, but does not have it in hand. It's going to be near impossible for him to get in there and win this round.
Yeah, and you can tell they want to force it through there. They've done it time and time again, but this is where it gets tough. Even if you had a second player here, it's going to be tough to retake that bomb position. We'll have to check to see if reactive was used. I wasn't entirely positive, but General trying to get a clutch in. But FaZe just keeping it close. 5-4. Will they be able to take this round 10 and push it to a ultimate round 11?
I'm wondering if either of these teams go back and revisit the A site. They've had success at the A site. I think at this moment in time, it would catch a team completely off guard because a lot of teams late in the game like to play it a little bit safer. I think you can catch a team off guard, maybe kill Zuma or whoever's playing on the A site yet again and get control of this area.
All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Round 10 offense now for FaZe. You saw it fall apart a little bit, and it does look like, yes, the reactive was used on the side of Enigma 6. So you kind of get two of those powerful abilities used from either side that amount to nothing.
Yeah, nobody with abilities thus far. So they're not going to be in question here in the last few rounds of Search and Destroy. Maybe General gets his here if he has a big, well, if he has a big round, it's over. So yeah, you're not really going to see General probably get that ability yet again. But
Scareabout, I believe that was General that called it out, got destroyed almost immediately. Okay, so they're just playing it slow, feeling each other out now. Now maybe the flank's going to come in across Skybridge here. You see all those yellow arrows on the top of your screen, pushing across, looking to work the flank. The question is, are they going to be able to pick it up in time for FaZe?
Now, FaZe getting very close to the B site, and they have nobody watching this back right now. They're in a very bad position here. General's going to be able to get one. Now, you do see Proto in position here, has to have an idea that these players are going to be back watching this.
Attach finds both. What was that? He's able to find two. Now it's just Reeves by himself.
Three players to take out. Finds one on his left. Not able to close it out. Gets shots at every single player, but he's down. It's time for round 11.
That is a huge play there from Attach, able to pick up 2 kills. That is one that you've got to secure. Yeah. Your first teammate dies, you're able to slide in, get some shots on him. You cannot lose that gunfight. It's Attach, saves FaZe there, forces a round 11.
All right, well, here we go. It's all coming down to this. I mean, how huge of a round is this? You either tie the series up at 1-1, or FaZe looking up 2-0. You got to think with their caliber of play, they're going to close it out. This round means everything right now to E6, and what a big series this is inside of Pool A. Our pool of death coming down here to the round 11. We're watching General for now. He's got bomb in hand, and he's going to go ahead and plant. Doesn't want to push through Obstacle, but it's Proto pushing in this time without the bomb. It's able to find the kill. They find the first kill. Reeves finds the second, but Zuma does answer back. It's now going to be Zuma, Attach, and Enable going up against 2 players here of E6.
E6 does have the bomb down, though, so they do have the luxury to back up a little bit, play the site. We'll see how FaZe plays this. Attach just trying to get in position here, and they do have the position on bomb. Does FaZe, and let's see how they play this. You're going to see Zuma trying to lock this down. Zuma and Enable pick up a kill apiece.
They got it. They got it. Shoots through both there, finds everything. Clay's on his feet. Oh, don't do it to him this early. It's Friday. Their parents are here.
And that is a rough one for Enigma 6 to lose. They looked very strong in Search and Destroy, just not able to close it out there in the end.
So FaZe now takes a 2-0 lead, and maybe that's a little bit kind of, you have your veterans, you have sort of the newer, younger players in E6. You got to think the edge time and time again in that situation is going to go to FaZe.
Yeah, look, I mean, with Enigma 6 getting bombed down there towards the end, they back up. It was Attach who got really, pushed forward on the site, forced Enigma 6 to back up even further. And then at that point, E6, they have to go check the bomb, so they have to come out of that cover. They're not able to win any gunfights.
Well, guys, map 3 is going to be uplink on Precinct. We've got a quick break. We'll be right back.
We are back to the CWL Atlanta Open phase, enjoying a 2-0 advantage over Enigma 6. That was a gutsy win, though, in that game, too.
Yeah, and look, I mean, the overall series score is obviously 2-0 in favor of FaZe, but these first two games could have gone either way. It was a 40-point hard point to kick things off, and then one round in Search and Destroy separated these teams.
There's a reason it was called the Pool of Death, right?
Yeah.
This is the matchup. Well, I'd say Enigma 6 FaZe, Enigma 6 versus Rise Nation. The question, I mean, it's the Pool of Death if Enigma 6 plays them tough. If they didn't, then it kind of takes that away. But already out the gate, you're like, okay, all right, these matches are crazy. Look at this.
I know you're not taking any EU teams, but don't discredit Infuse as well. Infuse looked really good when we were in London.
Listen.
I know you have a thing against Europe.
No, I do not.
For whatever reason.
Let's clarify here.
Okay.
I took 5 teams to get top 16 at champs from the EU. I felt really good about it. For some reason, just this particular event, when I went through the groups, they're so scary that I went towards North America. I think you could see teams making a deep run. You could see, 1 to 2 teams with some sort of top 4, top 8 run from EU. But the pools, man, look at the pools.
I think we have 2 teams from EU finishing the top 8 at this event.
I think we very well could.
I think probably not near the top portion of the top 8. I do think we do have 2 teams from Europe that do.
I mostly just did those to piss Momo off. But we are getting ready. It's going to be Uplink coming up next. FaZe, a solid Uplink team. Is there anything though that Enigma 6 can do to stay alive, to maybe push this one the distance, at least see a game 4?
I mean, realistically, they've been playing the right way. It's not like they've been making like bad strategy calls or been out of position or whatnot.
Shoot a tiny bit better.
They just need to win some more gunfights. Yeah, I think that attached gunfight really in the big round kind of sums up what's gone wrong for Enigma 6 in here. They just have not won the big crucial gunfights. That's the only thing that separated them from FaZe in this first series.
No, I agree with you. This has been I guess, as hotly contested as we thought it would be when we talked about
We did.
This. We thought it would be very, very close, and we've got everything that we wanted. But so far, FaZe is stepping up to the plate. I was a little bit worried, I guess, if you're a FaZe fan and, this is back-to-back events where you're looking at it and saying, hey, they could really win this. I was a little bit worried that maybe that they come out slow. If they lost this series, that's... Whew.
We've been saying that for a while, that they look like they can win this event. I mean, even last year, we were like, oh, they're due. They're looking great. They come in. They're nowhere to be found. I mean, I feel like in this game, they were great at PSX, right? You go into a different event, though, in Vegas. We expected them to kind of carry over that strong play. They do, just not good enough to win it. This one, though, looks like where they come in, they should be the clear-cut favorite. I still worry about them, though, later in the tournament.
Yeah, but that line there, it's kind of tough. Like, part of me agrees with you that, yes, they're sort of my #1 team, but clear-cut favorite. Like, there's 6 teams legitimately that could, like, take this right now. This is, I mean, from a competitive standpoint, from a global standpoint, I mean, this just seems to be as big and great as God has ever been. When you see how many teams are coming from Latin America, from APAC, from Europe, and teams that actually have a chance to make a run, I'm really curious, while we have a little bit of time here before map 3, what are your chances, your odds kind of for a team from APAC making out an open bracket, getting into pool play?
Oh, I mean, it's tough. There's a lot of really strong teams in Open, and you just don't know how great a practice they've had. Mindfreak has been here for a few days. They've been boot camping and whatnot. You just don't know how much they can learn in those few days and kind of adjust their style of play to make it in. And also Mindfreak, now with Excite. Dan's now on Tainted Mind, so a little bit of a change up. Oh, come on, man.
Hey,
yeah,
Google a site.
Excite.
Site on Mindfreak and a picture of Jack Courage Dunlap, and I am
He's the Australian Courage.
Positive they're related. But here we go, into the rig draft before we hop into the game 3 uplink. The biggest change you're going to see kind of standing out here, you're going to see FTL jump used quite a bit, as we did see the Synaptic come out during the most recent rule update. And that's, we haven't seen, I guess Silly's play the other day in the 2K was one of the crazier ones I've seen with FTL jump. I'm excited to see what more that can provide.
Yeah, I saw that one all over Reddit. That's really the first great use of FTL jump we've seen. Yeah. So I think that one we'll kind of see how it plays. Maybe it stays. Maybe players obviously opt for something else. The weapons take a very long time to charge up, so we do not see really any weapons so far in competitive play. But I'd love to see them kind of make a resurgence somehow.
These videos, I'm trying to think of the number of times you and I watched these. We were writing some of the scripts for these, for the other videos we're going to use these for. We must have watched these 400 times.
Yeah, no, that was...
We know the maps very, very well.
I know this map very well. I know all the maps very well. Scripting things with Maven's very interesting. He likes to use the same words over and over again. I read it and it just reads just one big long thing.
I right click and I go thesaurus.
They come out really bad.
Give me a new word here. But we're just moments away from hopping now into the game 3. I guess for you, does FaZe close out here, or finally does E6 get a little burst they need at the end to close out the game?
I think FaZe does close this one out here, and I think, you know, Enigma 6 does put up a good fight. I just think all the momentum is in FaZe's favor. They know how important this match is. Clay, you know, I mentioned earlier in the series that he talked about if they got by Enigma 6, he felt like they were going to just take the momentum and steamroll through the rest of the group, the rest of the tournament. So the guys on FaZe, they put a lot of pressure on themselves coming into this match. They know how important it is. I believe they close it out.
I wonder what I would look like with Enable's red hair on my head. He's got great hair.
It's like, I just went on a while talking about how important this match was, and the only thing you could think of to say after that was what you would look like with red hair. I do say, I do like bald Maven much better than strangly hair Maven. It's much better.
I feel like some sort of special model.
I would feel bad for whoever's product you modeled. It would.
It's true. No one would buy it.
Nobody would buy it, no.
But all right, guys, it is time. I can see they're loading in. It's time for precinct uplink FaZe. Looking to close this one out 3-0 in our first matchup, Pool A, to kick off MLG Atlanta Open. And remember, there's $200,000 on the line, and we're kicking things off with Proto.
I mean, $200,000 and a ton of pro points. We discussed how important pro points were earlier, you know, in the pre-show. If you missed it, I'm sure you can go all over social media, get updates on what we talked about. But pro points so important for the rest of the year. You have an opportunity to earn a ton here in Atlanta. You see Clay getting that drone, going in for a fast 2-point score for FaZe.
And they've got 2 players locked down on the base. I think it's Attach that's kind of rotated back. Never mind, he ended up dropping because he had some key gunfights to maybe win a drone, and they could have kept the rally going, but Ruiz did enough to distract, at least for the time being.
And you see FaZe putting a lot of emphasis on the top side of the minimap. That's the area you want to control when you're attacking that goal. You want the spawns for Enigma 6 to come in that back alley. You can bring the drone straight through this area where Enable is. You get a guy locking down gas station. You're able to just bring this drone up the street and get some easy scores.
That's 3 down, and that means go, go, go. 1 player here on defense to try and hold him off. Oh, I think a little bit of a mantle there, unintentionally trying to go vertical maybe and get the toss off.
It was actually Cade staying alive that mid-street for a very long time. There were players coming through this top ticket area, and then Proto was able to pick up 2 of those. Cade in the middle street was able to lock it down. That one looked like it could have been a good score opportunity for FaZe, but it was shut down by the 2 players on Enigma 6, Proto and Cade.
Well, you're still feeling pretty good if you're FaZe, since all early aggression has been from your side. General trying to say he wants nothing to do with it, able to win 1 gunfight, but he gets answered by the NV4 of Enable. Enable actually ends up finding 2, and it's Zuma pushing forward. Clayster with the 3rd, the 4th for Zuma, locking him down, back alley, drops on him. Hello, 3rd, would you like some candy as well? Guns him, Scarab up. I don't know why I said candy.
Yeah, now this is a very dangerous position for E6. You see they're trapped in that back alley. They need to push one way together. So you see 1 person coming to challenge Zuma at the top, 1 person going down gas. You need to just flood out together as a team, overwhelm one of these players. Because otherwise you're going to let players pick up easy, 2 pieces. As you try and funnel out 1 by 1, you're going to give up some more easy scores right there. A 1-point play goes through for FaZe.
As much as that was huge from Zuma, getting those kills at back alley, that was really a full team effort, right? Enable kind of opened it with a 2-piece. Clayster gets 1. Zuma gets the final, and the rally comes in, and they're able to add on, make this a 5-0 lead. And this is really the first drone control / attempted offense we've seen from the side of Enigma 6, and it gets shut down pretty much immediately.
Yeah, it's the first time E6 touches the drone. They throw it forward for some yards. They try and slay out. They don't pick up any of the kills. It's really been the one thing separating these 2 teams is just those big, crucial gunfights. Whether it was in hardpoint, on the rotation, search and destroy, in the clutch rounds. And here at the beginning of this uplink, they have not been able to secure their own base, not been able to secure map control. It's where Enigma 6 has faltered so far in this series.
Zuma has another opportunity to pick up some big kills here. Behind 1, finds another 1. There's a 3rd there at back alley, just gets the reload. He's going to close out the 3rd. Zuma 17-4 on a 3 streak and just keeps lining them up, but it's 5 for Attach. He's going off as well. He's fully streaked out. Bombardment there, locked and loaded. This is a blowout. It seems like the heart has been ripped out of Enigma.
Yeah, Zuma is cooking right now. I mean, 17-5, absolutely dominating the beginning of this game. And when we talked with Clay the other day, we asked him, who do you think the best player on your team is? He said Zuma. He's like, the stuff that Tommy is able to do is just unreal. You see putting those skills on display here.
I mean, he's got, close to as many kills as the rest of the team for E6. I think they have 20 plus. He's sitting at 19 right now. This is just a disgusting performance from him. Triple positive. We'll see if he can keep it up. Now, E6 is not out of this, Matt. They can certainly come back. We know they've played them tough. but they just are burying them here in the first half.
Yeah, if you're E6, I mean, obviously you want to put up points here in the first half. At best, you want to just stop the bleeding. No more points. You cannot give up any more points to FaZe here. As I say that, you got a 4 dead. This looks like it's going to be points.
You're going to be clawing your way out of 6 feet under right now if you're E6.
Yeah, I mean, you see the players just lining up in the back alley for Clay. An easy 2-point opportunity there. FaZe still with control of the E6 base. Zuma, 22-6. Not a lot right here for E6 in the first half. I think you go in the second half, you just kind of erase this first half from your memory. You get a good spawn lock in that back alley. You put together some points, you start to close the gap a little bit. E6 definitely not out of this yet.
I feel like they set up a meat grinder there at that back alley corner. They're just running out and getting shoot up. There was nothing they could do. Like this, you had 2 people hard aim basically at that corner, whether it was Clay, Zuma, just destroying them.
It's been tough because obviously the easier of the 2 options is to go out towards that gas station, take control of that mid-street area and work your way back. But with the top map control going all the way towards FaZe, they're going to win all these gunfights at range with the NV4s and the positions they're playing at. So E6, you almost have to flood through that back alley. They haven't been able to win gunfights there. They've been trickling one by one. Another score goes in for FaZe Clan.
They're positive 30 right now.
Yeah.
Can we, like Zuma, what did Zuma just do to Enigma 6? Was he 29-8 at half? You all right, Tommy?
Yeah, I mean, he puts together one of the best first halves we've seen in Warfare ever. Yeah.
29-8?
Yeah, that is very impressive there from Zuma. When you got a guy being that explosive, you know, that dynamic in power positions, it's very difficult for the opponents. I mean, look, Enigma 6, they could have just flooded through the back alley. Maybe they kill Zuma, maybe they don't.
They have 6 more kills than Zuma. 6 more kills. 35 to Zuma's 29. Make it 30.
He's 30-8 right now. That's unreal. But Enigma 6 does have the drone. They do have top side control. So they're trying to get FaZe in this back alley. Zuma takes out Ruiz as he's trying to push through the middle of the map. You do see a 1-point play go on the board. So E6, they get one on the board. They're starting to put some pressure on FaZe now.
I feel they need to high-five somebody over there. Just give them a little bit of life, get something going. Again, it's not possible. You can get a vicious spawn trap. You saw what FaZe was able to do. Can you answer back if you're E6?
And we did see FaZe a lot last year. It was not really an uplink, mostly in hardpoint. They'd get these huge leads, and the other team would just storm right back. They just kind of take their foot off the gas. And you do see Enigma 6, they're lighting up the kill feed now. They have drone control. They need to convert this into points fast.
Yep, they're going to get 2 here. Now it's going to come down to the battle at mid-map for the drone. I think it's Ruiz by himself for the drone. They should be able to wrap this right back out. I'm just staring at the minimap. If Ruiz has it, you still have General here. This should be 2 more points. They have to fight back for drone spawn, but this NV4 is being such a thorn on the side. That's going to be 2 more. All of a sudden, it's 13-5. You still got 4 minutes to work with.
Yeah, so what FaZe tried to do there, they tried to rotate out gas, try to get towards mid-map. Proto picks up 2. You get another big gunfight. I believe it was Ruiz towards the middle of the map. You get drone control. General locking down the back with the NV4's players try to flood through the back alley, and that's what led Enigma 6 to some more points. But now FaZe gets control of the top ticket area. They should be able to get drone control here.
Yeah, they got a little bit sloppy maybe for a minute there. Couldn't decide about how they come out to retake mid-street, retake their base. That time it worked out. They got all 4 up. They grouped up. They burst out together, and they're able to regain control. But you saw some life from Enigma 6. They certainly aren't out of this yet. You just need a couple more stretches just like that.
And a big kill there from Proto as Clay is trying to put some more pressure on the Enigma side of the map. And what you're seeing FaZe start to do is they're funneling through that top area of your minimap, through the ticket area, over towards back statue. That's going to force Enigma 6 not to go on the offensive. They have to rotate, have to play out of their own base. If FaZe just keeps playing this position for the rest of the game, they're in a good shape, but it's going to be General with a big 3-piece, and now he's going to push forward. Let's see if E6 can turn this into points.
He's got Camo to work with as well. This should be 2 more. Getting through. All of a sudden, it's 13-7. They're climbing back in. General going vertical, trying to turn and find him, but it's attached. Getting 2 clutch kills at home. But just as that's 7 in 2.5 minutes. You can do this. 7 more. You're halfway through. That's a 14-13 game. But Clayster's got the drum. He's trying to dip to the side. Can't win the gunfight, though. That's going to be 2 down for the moment for FaZe Clan. This would be one of the most absurd comebacks I've seen. I know this map can play that way because you can get those crazy spawn traps, but that was one of the most dominant sides we've seen from a team and from an individual player. And Zuma, like Zuma's on pace to drop 50.
Yeah, it was a crazy first half from Zuma. He started to slow down here a little bit in the second half, but As long as FaZe does not get spawn trapped, they just keep funneling through this top ticket area. They're in a very good spot, obviously, to close this game out. E6 would need to get pretty much a 4 dead right here, get spawn control to be able to make a comeback.
They got what, I think it was like 5-point rally to start the game, so you need a little bit more than that. But Attach is trying to hold ticket in mid-street. Enable also locked down. They basically had 4 people in and around ticket, right? Just shutting that down, playing either around tarps or inside a ticket, because that's the key push that we saw FaZe doing over and over and over again. They don't want it to happen to them again, and now they've been winning those gunfights, which they weren't doing in the first couple of minutes.
And FaZe realistically is, I know, a few seconds holding onto the drone here, maybe 10, 15 seconds, and then a 1-point play from securing this game. Right now would really be a miracle for E6 to come back. They do have the drone in their hands, and they're going to try and run it towards the top side of the map, but the kills just being traded out so effectively from the side of FaZe Clan. They're just bringing this drone over towards Statue, throwing it down, winning the gunfight.
As much as it was a first half, kind of carried by Zuma, the second half has been Attach. The number of times he's come up with 2 pieces in and around the drone as he's trying to hide from the bombardment, but he ends up, I guess Proto was in the corner there with the melee, but Attach has been just massive.
But look, I mean, they use these streaks, they pick up another kill, and Clay gets the drone, resets it, so Enigma 6 can't even go on the offensive there.
Just under 40 seconds remaining. This looks to be a 3-0 from FaZe, unless there is some sort of Enigma 6 miracle. Ruiz does have drum, getting inside a ticket, trying to find points, but he gets cut down by Clayster before he can exit, and surely that is it. Clayster's got camo out. He's looking to finish up some kills here before falling. FaZe does it. They get a 3-0, and in this pool, that's a huge 3-0.
Yeah, and look, I mean, Enigma 6, they played FaZe very strong. Now, it's going to be a 3-0 in favor of FaZe, but you look at these scores outside of this uplink where it got out of control in the first half for E6. The hard point, very close, decided by maybe 1 hill, few gunfights, and at Search and Destroy, only 1 round, but it'll be FaZe getting a 3-0 win over E6 in our first match of the day.
Well, the fans let FaZe hear it. That was an incredible performance. But all right, obviously we're high on FaZe. We think they're maybe the top team coming in. What did you see from E6 that you liked, though? Because obviously you played them tough in the first 2 games. Was that? I think it said a lot how they came back in the second half a little bit too. I mean, they were buried. That's got to be frustrating to deal with someone going 30-8 or whatever it was in the first half. You're down 7, or sorry, was it 11-0? Yeah, 11-0, and then they mount the comeback. It was close.
So if you're Enigma 6, you played a very smart game. Hard point, your rotations were on point. You just did not win the gun battles. The Search and Destroy you let get out of hand. You should have won that one. Going into the uplink, you know, you just got to kill better in that first half. Really, you can't get spawn locked for that long in the back of the base. And I think really the story for them is you're going to have to find somebody to step up in that Slayer role with General.
That's very, very true. But guys, that is going to be it for the FaZe Enigma 6 matchup. It's going to be FaZe 3-0. We've got a quick break, but a lot more action to come. Seconds left before we rotate to what many consider to be